Last year was just full of lots of pain and anger, from heartache to unemployment. I don't really like myself. I don't like who I'm with. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like who I give access to my space. I don't like the choices I'm making. I don't like the person I'm becoming. In reality, that's when I hit rock bottom. And then I'm there and I'm like, God, what now? From that lowest point, then things started to change. Hi, friend. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Sarah, and this is the call for this show. The purpose of the show is to help us become the best versions of ourselves by leading with honesty, transparency, and vulnerability. We're going to be talking about faith, mental health, love, friendships, being single, being married, personal growth, and any other conversations that the Lord puts on our hearts. This is a space where I share what the Lord is teaching me and what He's doing for me, and I hope it's a blessing to you. I'm your host, Sarah, and this is the call for this show. Okay, 4 times the charm. I've recorded this episode like 3 times in the past and deleted everything, so I'm really hoping this is the one. Hi, friend. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Sarah, and this is the call for this show. I'm super, super excited to be here. I've been planning for this show since 2023, and to be able to finally do this right now, it's a blessing. I guess I could say Happy New Year, right? This is the first time that I'm speaking to you on this platform in the new year. When is a good time to stop saying Happy New Year? Like February 2nd or like March 3rd? You know what I'm saying? But Happy New Year. I don't even know when this is going to be able to air. It should have aired by now. Plans got changed a little bit, but we're here now, and that's all that matters. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just a little bit of context, a little bit of, just to let you know what the show is about. So a while ago, I started posting on Instagram little bits of things that I've been learning in my life, what God has been teaching me, and where I'm going. Just being honest with people about what's happening in my life. And after conversations with people and like just prayer, I felt led to make this into a show. So the purpose of the show is to become the best versions of ourselves by leading with honesty, transparency, and vulnerability. When I first started thinking about doing this, I was like, oh, okay. How bad can this be? Like, you just have to come on here and talk to people and just be honest about what you're feeling, what you're learning. And then I got a little anxiety after that. Actually, maybe little was a little too small to describe it. Because I realized, oh, I have to be honest with these people. I have to tell them the truth. I have to be transparent. I have to, like, even if it's not perfect, I have to say it because that's the truth. And I don't like people knowing what's going on with me. It's like vulnerability is one of the things that it really, really scares me. So this isn't comfortable for me. This is absolutely out of my comfort zone. But I do believe this is going to be helpful for myself and for you or anybody who's watching. So yeah, that's what this show is about. So I want to say this is not just for Christians. I am a Christian, so my relationship with God and my relationship with Christ, it comes out because, that's who I am. I can't talk about my life. I can't talk about evolving without talking about what God is doing into my life. So that's going to be out there. But this is not just for Christians. If you are just anyone and you're interested in the conversation that we're having, and the conversations are going to go from faith. This is my hope. We're going to be talking about faith, mental health, love, being single, friendships, marriage, just anything that people are interested in, anything that I'm interested in, what's happening in my life. And please let me know down below if there are any topics that you want us to talk about on here. And I will try to get people out here who may be better versed in the conversation than I am. And so we can all talk and get to help each other a little bit better. Just a little disclaimer, guys. I'm not a coach. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a lady out here trying to live her life and share what God is doing for her. So yes, this is a little introduction to the show. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. I think my battery is dying. I literally just put this in. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment and like this video. Let me know down below what kinds of conversations you would like to have, you'd like to see on this platform, and I will try to make it happen, God willing. So today just it's the new year. I'm very happy to be here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very excited to be here. I'm just like, how y'all been? I just want to know. Let me know in the comments how y'all doing. How we feeling about the new year? How's 2024 so far? I feel like January was like January. It feels, I'm recording right now in January, and like I feel like it's still January. January always likes to linger around, but I'm excited to have made it to the new year. Partly because I'm not gonna lie, 2023 was a bit of a, she was a little rough. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be all, she was not cute. 2023 was not a pretty girl for me. Now, don't get me wrong. There were major milestones in my life in 2023. So, graduating with my master's. Yes. Where we all are on the educated side. Thank God. It's a blessing. I got my master's. I got to see my mother after not seeing her for 7 years. I live in America. My family is not here. All my family isn't here. I live with my sister. And it had been almost 7 years since I had seen my mom. So I got to see her. So that's like, that made my year. If I had to do that year again, I would do it again. But I'm just going to be honest. Last year was just full of lots of pain and anger. Starting the year with like a breakup from a long-term relationship, and then things got okay after that, and then after another situation, it's just it was a bit rough. Last year was a little bit rough for me, and from heartache to unemployment to like, listen, when you're not making any money, girl, it was rough for a minute there. It was rough for a second. So, I think that last year, mostly what I learned is it was like a shedding season. Like a lot of the things that I was attached to, a lot of the things that I had planned, just it didn't work out that way. Just fun fact about me, I'm a big planner. Okay, I plan everything. I like details. I like to plan a backup plan for the plan and the backup plan for the backup plan. I like to plan things. I show up. And most of the time, I kind of rely on myself and my sense of control, which, if you're an adult anywhere or any person with even a little bit of experience, you understand. There's only so much you can control. And so last year, I felt like everything that I had planned, everything that was in motion for me, just didn't work out the way it was meant to be. At some point, I woke up and I was looking in the mirror and I'm like, I don't really like myself. I don't like who I'm with. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like who I give access to my space. I don't like the choices I'm making. I don't like the person I'm becoming. It was not working. I think last year, like, God used an opportunity, like, to break me down and to make me realize, like, okay, who are you when I take all these things that you like away? What happens then? What is your essence? Who are you as a person? And so last year, I think July, I would qualify July as probably the worst month of my year. And I would have said that, like, you had asked me that 6 months. I'm like, yeah, that was the worst time. But in reality, that's when I hit rock bottom. People think it takes like 10 years to get to your lowest low. I went from the top of the mountain to rock bottom within a month or two. I was at my highest high. I was having a good time. I was very optimistic. I had hope. I was happy. I went from my highest high to rock bottom like this. And then I'm there and I'm like, okay, what happens now? God, what now? I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm at the end of this journey that I thought would be great. Now, God, what else? Like, Lord, what do you have for me? What's going to happen? And so I think from that lowest point, then things started to change. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I will say though, it has been a very continuous growth in me. So this journey of me reinventing myself, coming out of the shadows or just shedding and becoming unrecognizable, becoming a different person, it started when I was at my lowest point. And I kind of just want to share the things that have been working for me and what I've been doing, what I've been learning about that. I think last year, just to summarize everything up, last year was the first time in my life. For the first time in my life, I felt like God had disappointed me. I'm being honest. This isn't something that I'm comfortable sharing, or like I'm like, oh, God disappointed me. That's a great thing to say. No, I'm just being truthful and telling you how it was for me. And so from that moment, everything started to change. I think at the time, I realized I don't like this person, so let's make a change. So this is maybe going to be for someone out there who has been on a journey to reinvent themselves since last year or since the new year came. I really hope these few tips that I've been applying to myself can help you as well. So the first thing that I had to realize at the time is that I didn't like what was happening. I had to make a conscious decision to be like, okay, I don't like this. Something's got to give. You have to be willing to make a change. You have to be willing to recognize what's not working and what needs to be different. That's what I had to do. And at the time, all my expectations, like, I don't know how to even word this properly, but everything that seemed important to me was not important anymore. All of a sudden, I valued life more than anything else. All of a sudden, I valued health more than anything else. All of a sudden, I valued just being present more than anything else. I had to sit down and realize, okay, we need to make a change. And then from there, what I had to do, and this is what I would say is a big step, is to envision the person you want to become. Who's the woman you want to be? Who's the man you want to be? I'm sitting there like, okay, who is she? The woman that you want to be, what is she dating the man you're dating? Is she entertaining the conversations you're entertaining right now? Are we still sending videos of other people to the group chat and gossiping about that? What are we doing? Are we still talking about men 24/7? Is that all we have to say? I remember my homegirl, sometimes we were having a conversation, we were talking, I think between girls, and we're talking about men, and she was like, okay, can we talk about something else? Like, is this all we got? Men, 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 men? What else is there? Who does that woman spend time around? What does her circle look like? What are her habits? What are her habits? What does she look like? Who is she? Who is that person that I want to be? Does she buy designer bags with her rent and now we have to survive on ramen? What kind of woman is she? And be specific. Be specific about the person you want to look like. Be specific about what does she wear, right? What does she walk around as? How does she portray herself? How does she carry herself? Who is she? Who is this person? Be very specific about who you want to be. How does she walk? You know what I mean? All these things are important. How down to everything. How does she smell when she's home? What does her home look like? What kind of environment is she in? How does she thrive? What does she thrive on? What does she love to do? What are her hobbies? Be specific, be clear about the person that you want to be. The next thing I would say is submit that vision to Christ. I believe in Jesus, so that's how it works to me. I don't know who you believe in or what you believe in, but I believe that everything is spiritual somehow. The vision that you have, the picture that you have, submit that to Christ, right? And because this is something that I've been guilty of in the past, I tend to believe that I have so much control on things that it's like, girl, you are not. I promise you, you are not there. You don't know everything. You don't know the forces that are conspiring against your glow up. You don't know the forces that are conspiring against your success. You don't know the forces that are conspiring against your discipline. So submit that to God and give that into His hands. I will always advise this all the time. And then from there, let's come up with a plan. When I say plan, I don't mean like you dictate every step of the way and you control every step of the way. I mean, let's have a strategy. Okay, what are the habits of this person? We have talked about what the person looks like. Now, what are the habits that create that person? So I remember I wanted to get closer to the Lord in my faith. The woman that I want to be, the woman that I'm striving to be, the woman I'm trying to be, she has a relationship with God, right? And so for a minute I had to sit down, like, okay, how do we get there? Read the word every day. Pray every day. And don't make it just like in the morning, at nighttime, right? Like a conversation kind of thing. And these things have to be specific. What exactly are we doing to achieve that? And this is one with that maybe you can understand this better. And I say read the word every day, for example. I don't like to read like this, just scroll through the pages. I found out that when I was reading the Bible and I was just scrolling down, I'd get distracted and it just wasn't working. So I found the audio Bible, and that works amazing for me. Every morning, I've been trying to do that. That's something that you can do. Say, for example, your goal is to get healthier, all right? What does the diet look like? What kind of food are we eating? How many times are we eating a day? Are we working out? What kind of workouts are we doing? Be specific. Are we doing low impact workouts? Are we like a Pilates girl, or are we like a heavy weightlifting girl? What does that look like? Let's write that down. Now, the woman you want to be, the man you want to be, how does their home look like, right? And I think in this TikTok era where we see aesthetically pleasing things, that might get in your head. Okay, but like, are you clean? Let's start with the basics, the things that you can do. Are you clean? Can you DIY some things around that give you, how do you make your immediate environment become the person you want to be? Because a lot of times, like, we are so focused on going somewhere that it's like, when I have my money, I'm going to get a better apartment. I'm going to be that girl. When I have more money, I'm going to get more this and I'm going to be that girl. What can you do in this moment? What can you do in this moment to appreciate where you are while you're working to get where you want to be, right? And this is for me, it was like, I hated my home. When I walked into my apartment, it was like, ugh. I didn't like my space. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get a new apartment. I'm going to get a luxury apartment next year. And then I'm going to be that girl and it's going to be good. I'm going to feel good about myself. And then I didn't get the apartment. Life was really up to chaos and, nothing. Again, I told you, nothing worked out that way. I ended up staying in the same space, which is where I am right now. And I woke up and I was like, okay, why am I going to have to wait to get somewhere else in order to be happy where I am? So I started to do DIY projects around my home, right? Using things I had around or buying more affordable things in order to modify my space to what it was conducive to the woman that I want to become. So write a plan now. Have a strategy. Talk about the habits. Put that down. Be honest. Some of these may seem hard for you, but put that down. Write that down. You do something over and over and over again. At some point, it becomes a habit. You know what I'm saying? So write down the habits of this person, and then the work begins, and then we start doing it. Now, something I would love to emphasize for you: this is not a journey of like, it's not easy, because you are reconstructing a lot of things about you. You are becoming unrecognizable. You're becoming a different person. You are evolving. So I will say this is something that I want you to keep in mind. You will get uncomfortable. Discomfort is going to have to be your friend. This is not something that you're used to, that you've been doing for a long time. This is new. This is different. So if at some point you're doing it and you are uncomfortable because you have to develop new patterns, right? Your mind has to start something different. Your body has to adapt to something different. It's okay. That discomfort is absolutely necessary. Don't sit there and be like, oh, this is uncomfortable, so it must be wrong. Because sometimes that discomfort is the key to your success. So that's what I'm going to say. I still have some habits I need to get on. I'm not going to lie. We've done a lot of work in the past 6 months. But there's still more work to be done. As the episodes go on, we might tackle different goals and see how to practically get there, more practical steps to get there. So we might talk, if one of your goals is a physical glow up, we might get into that. If another one of your goals is a spiritual glow up, we might get into that. So this is just a general overview of like 3 basic steps that I could give you to start your journey to reinventing yourself, that have worked for me, that are working for me. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. This is just the first episode. I'm excited. I really think this is the one. After recording this episode for 3 times, I think this is the episode. I think this is the one. I think so. And if you are not watching the visuals, we're giving some red today. The nails is red. The coat is red. It's giving. The visuals are kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit hesitant at first, but I'm hoping this is on the podcast platforms. So if you're there as well listening, thank you so much. Please share this with a friend. This is just an introduction. This is just the beginning. We're going to go into it as we go on. There might be different sections to the show, but this is just an introductory episode to let you guys know what we are about on the Called for This show. Thank you so much. I'm your host, Sarah, and this is the Called for This show. God bless you. Today I'm going to leave you with a word of encouragement for you to take home. Okay, so the word for today is going to be in Psalm 37. This is a British accent. I don't know, I've been told in the past few days that I have a bit of a British accent. I don't really know where that's coming from. It kind of randomly comes on. But the word for the day for you, my dear friend, is Psalm 37, 23 to 24. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. So, this is just a little word to encourage you. You're gonna be okay. The Lord's got you. I pray for you. I support you in this journey. We support each other. Please let me know that in the comment section what goal you have, and if you don't mind sharing, and then we can tackle these one step at a time. Hopefully, I can have people in here with me to help each other. Thank you so much for tuning in. I feel so blessed to be here. I feel so honored to be here. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I'm your host, Sarah, and this is the call for this show. Did we eat that up or not? Did we eat that up? Okay, fun fact, I don't have production. I'm just pretending that there's production right here because one day there's going to be production. What y'all think of my cute little set? I sat here and overthought, just overthinking pattern about like what I want the set to look like, but I think it came out cute. But yeah, we're in my living room. One day we're going to be in the studio with the whole crew. Can y'all? It's called Vision. It's called Prayer. Who's calling me? I gotta go.